I think one of the things I love about this generation of athletes is that you guys were ready for life after sports.
Yeah.
Whereas like the previous generation was like, all right, what are we going to do now? Like we're done. Whereas like even for you, I'm sure, as your last couple of years in the league were going down, like guys were very intentional about what they were doing next. So who were some people that you saw that you're like, all right, this person's doing some cool things, or I got some great advice from this guy here?
Let me see. It's crazy because I was at that period in time from 2010 to really now where in 2010 guys they didn't want to retire because they didn't know what the future held for them after.
Yeah, they were extending it, playing a little longer.
They were trying to. They would play in Canada, they would play in the AFL, you know, they were doing all those things to sustain that career longer because they were so frightened of what's after. And I think throughout the years, and it really, I think, started with, I don't know if you remember him, Chris Borland. He played linebacker in San Francisco.
He retired one season, right?
When he just retired, and you know, that shocked everybody in the NFL. It was like, what is this guy doing? But he really had a purpose behind what he wanted to do. He didn't want to get hurt anymore. He had bad concussion that really affected him, and I had the same thing. And when he did that, I think that's when you saw a lot more guys starting to realize, hey, I can use what I've done on the field, off the field. And like it comes to, we're so focused on just our job on the field and being as successful as we can that we neglect the stuff off the field. But when it comes time to retire, the NFL's not looking to help you out after you retire.
No, they're not giving you a hand.
They don't care. They just want the next man that's coming in to make them money. So when guys are out, they get frightened, they get scared, and they want to continue the same lifestyle that they've had before. That's why you see guys going broke, depressed. You know, guys commit suicide because they're just lost and they don't have that direction. And I think as the years have gone on, the NFL has tried to help, you know, giving guys certain programs to be able to do finance stuff, acting, broadcasting, all those certain things to be able to show guys that there's other things for you to do, but they're not necessarily pushing you in that direction. So you really we need, I think, a program that is going to be able to help and protect guys once they retire. They can at least educate them to go into the next path and not be scared to take that path when they're done with football, because football, it ends like that. I can remember my first day as a rookie, and that was 9 years ago.
Wow.
And here we are in 2019.
It flies,
It flies by super fast. So guys don't really see that part of it. They're just in the now moment, and that's always preparing for a game every single week. Then you have the off season, and that's really when you're supposed to develop what you want to do off the field, but your mind is still in tune to, oh, I got to get ready for the next season.
Right, you got to train.
Yeah. So you're not really living for the now moment, you're living for the future. And you're still reliving the past from your past mistakes, what you've done well, what you haven't, what worked for you well last season, what can I apply to the next season? So you skip a whole big gap of months where you can really develop yourself, you can read, you can take programs, all these different things that aren't really being utilized.
But there's just also so much recovery from the season too, and like that's a huge priority. Like how many concussions did you have during your career?
Counted for?
Yeah, at least diagnosed.
Oh, man, I think 6 or 7.
Wow.
I think, it was about 6. And
dating back to how far? When was your first one? Like high school?
I think my first one was high school.
Okay.
But if you want to go back to high school, it's probably more. But back then, the education on concussions wasn't as big as it is now.
No, you get dinged. Yeah, you
just
just
like,
get your belt wrong. You're going right back in.
there.
Whereas now, like, yeah, there's still some issues with it, but at least there's blue tent. We're having conversations about it.
Yeah, which is great. But I think there still needs to be more done because I think even though guys aren't saying anything, you can see it on TV.
Oh yeah,
guys
they're still playing through it. Or they come back 2 plays later, and you're like, that guy should not be out there.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Sometimes some guys will be like, oh no, I can't come off the field, because if you come on the field, you're done for the whole game.
Right. Or you could lose your job after that.
That's what guys are really afraid of, and I think that's why you see so many guys still being quiet about the concussion part of it, and they feel as if they come out and say, oh, I'm not feeling good today because of what happened on Sunday. They're scared that, okay, the team's not going to value me anymore like they did prior to. And I think that's where guys really have to stand up and speak out about that, because it's not just for now, it's for later on. When you have kids, what's going to happen when you can't function, when you can't help them with their homework, or when you can't do regular activities anymore because your mind and your body aren't together. So those are the things that guys really need to focus on, not just their playing time in the league, but 20, 30 years from now, if they can think that far out.
It's a really brave thing to speak out in the NFL for a number of different reasons, but like no guarantees with the contracts. You could lose everything by saying one thing.
Yeah.
It's insane. And even like your last couple of years in the league, like more and more guys are standing up, whether it's social justice stuff or just, marijuana, things like that. Like it's still a lot to put yourself out there. So what was it like watching that kind of the last half of your NFL career?
It was actually eye-opening, and my My colleague here, Malcolm Jenkins, he was the one that he really started that whole
Huge
thing.
leader, yeah.
He was the guy that, I remember the meeting once Kaepernick started this whole kneeling thing. You know, we didn't want to go that same route and bring too much attention to us, but I know we were getting ready to play the Chicago Bears, and we brought us all in the team. He said, man, what is it that we can do that's a peaceful protest, not the same as Kaepernick, to be able to bring awareness to what's going on, not only in the country, but in Philly itself. You know, North Philly especially is a bad area. And Malcolm really was the catalyst to be able to bring more awareness and jump on the bandwagon with Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick and get that thing going. So I remember him saying, we're just going to put our fist up in the air. And, you know, I just remember saying I would support him, you know, when he did him, Ron Brooks, and then Chris Long came along. Chris Long ended up doing tremendous things, you know, even after he's retired. He's gave away basically his whole salary.
It's incredible.
So that's something that I commend him for. You know, he's a guy that he could have kept it and done something else.
Sure.
But he's saying, no, I'll do something else. I really think he is the one that doesn't get enough praise, because he's been doing things ever since he's gotten in the league. And I remember even when he was in college, he was doing stuff similar like that. He went to University of Virginia, I went to Maryland, so I was able to keep an eye on him, because one, he was a great player, but two, he had a great cause. And I remember there was something came on, a documentary where he pretended to be homeless for 2 days. Him and I can't remember the other D lineman's name, but for me to see that and him to do that, I had so much respect for that guy after that, because he knows what's going on. He's more aware of what's going on outside the world than a lot of other football players do, a lot of athletes do. You know, we stay in our little bubble because that's what we've been so used to for a lot of our lives.
It's comfortable to do that too.
It's real comfortable to do that, and we're just so confined that we don't want to step outside of that because we're scared of change.